seat. Oh no. Salutations, crustaceans. I'm Lobster, and this is the brand new Ibanez SRD905F. Successor to the Ibanez Portamento, which was the SRF705, something like that. But this is essentially a Portamento Plus, and because it's the SRD, we're going to call it the Sardine. I'm hilarious. I'm just so funny. I've reviewed the Portamento in the past, the 700 series, which was the 4-string, and overall I liked that bass. However, I thought the Bartolini MK1s that were standard on that were a little bit lackluster given, the intent of getting like maximum fretless character. So this is essentially an upgraded version of the Portamento in many ways. However, there's one key difference that we're going to talk about in a little bit. First, let's go over just the general specs of our little Sardine here. For the body, we have an Akoma body with a flamed maple top, and this is a chambered body as well. And that is housing two Nordstrand big brake pickups. These are essentially the in-house... Woo! BB, you scared me. I need to turn those things down. Okay. Note to self, turn down synths when you're not using them, or else the cat will jump on them. Life lessons. So what we have here is the Nordstrand big brake pickups. They're Nordstrand branded, however they're produced by Ibanez to Nordstrand specification. Now in regards to electronics, this is the same as what we have in the Ibanez Portamento. We have triple volume controls, a volume control for our neck pickup, a volume control for our bridge pickup, and then a volume control for the piezo bridge. Now the Sardine here features an individual bridge for every single string, one of those small individual bridge units, and each features a piezo, where the Portamento had a single bridge, so it was just a regular looking bridge, but it also featured a piezo in there. In regards to tone shaping, we have a 2-band EQ for the Nordstrand pickups and an active tone control for our piezo, so that has its own separate tone control. And we have a recessed jack cavity right over here, so we're able to easily insert our cable and route it over our strap with no problems. Yay! Now moving up to the neck, this is where things get a little interesting. The Portamento was neck through, meaning the neck went all the way through the body. With the Sardine here, this is a bolt-on base. Some will think that that's an upgrade, some will think that that's a downgrade, others won't care, some will for no reason. Who knows? But that is a big difference here versus the Portamento. It is a bolt-on! However, the neck material remains the same versus the Portamento. We have a 5-piece maple and walnut neck with a Panga fretboard with a 30 hypothetical fret range. Ho, old pun. Now what I'm about to talk about is probably the biggest impactful difference for me in regards to this bass versus the Portamento, and probably the reason why I would pick the Portamento over this, even though this is a fantastic instrument and it looks really good. The Portamento is an unlined fretless, and we had some side dots here. With the SRD, our Sardine here, we have a lined fretless. You're like, Lobster, where are the lines? Oh, there's lines. They're very dark, and they blend into the Panga fingerboard. So if it's not a lined fingerboard, okay, no problem. However, we have fret markers on the sides, which correspond to the actual place where you should put your finger. And then we have our inlays, which correspond to where they would be on a fretted instrument and are not at the fret line. So when you're looking down trying to just like quickly make an adjustment, or if you want to look at what you're doing sometimes, especially on a fretless bass like this, you kind of get a little thrown off that the 12th fret inlay is here, but then the 12th fret marker is here. That's a pretty big difference. So in my opinion, I would prefer just an unlined fingerboard, just like what they had with the Portamento. That would be easier for me, considering that the fret markers here do more of a disservice than help me find where I am on this fingerboard. Back to the specs of the neck, we have a 34-inch scale and a 45mm nut width here. I confirmed that, and it is 45mm on the dot. And I forgot to mention, we do have a 16.5mm bridge spacing, which is a bit tight for 5 strings, pretty standard for sound gears. and you cannot adjust this, even though it looks like it's one of those bridges that's from Ibanez that you can adjust, the spacing a little bit. This you can't do that at all because of the piezo. And then moving up to the headstock, because I'm bouncing around, we have a 3x2 tuner configuration on this typical Sound Gear headstock, and an Ibanez Sound Gear logo at the top. It doesn't have any mention of the name Sardine on here, so I'm starting to question whether that's official or not. And then up at the headstock, we also can find our truss rod access with the little cover that has the door on it, so you don't need to remove the 3 screws. That's pretty nice overall. And yeah, that's not bad. Honestly, I just wish they left it open. It would just be way easier to get to. It's already pretty tight up there as it is, so would be nice, but small potatoes. And now, one of my favorite parts of my videos, we are going to, where's the button? Get this thing moving. As this base is spinning around, let's talk about accessories. I don't believe it comes with a case, which is kind of a shame given that this is in the north of $1,000 price point. It's actually well north of it. We'll talk about price in a little bit. What we also can see here is that this is just like any other sound gear where we have a really, really thin body profile here. So this is an extremely ergonomic base, very comfortable to play. And then moving around back here, we can see the 6-screw neck attachment for the bolt-on neck, which is again one of the big differences between this base and the Portamento. We can also see that we have a 9-volt preamp here as opposed to an 18-volt, or I don't know if they would have 18s on Ibanez's. Anyways, we also have a control cavity with a plastic cavity cover there that's screwed on, and a separate little cavity for the gain controls of the piezo, and you can access the piezos there. And how much does the Ibanez SRD905F weigh? Our particular example comes in at 7.6 pounds, which is right on par with what I'm seeing at Sweetwater and all their other examples. These are coming in at about a half a pound less than the Portamento. So if weight is a big factor for you when you're choosing an instrument, this might be something to consider if you're looking for some sort of extreme fretless. But we all know that weight really doesn't matter if the bass doesn't balance well. So let's see how our Ibanez SRD905F Sardine balances. In the lap, we do get a little bit of neck dive because the body is chambered. It is very lightweight. Again, this is a sub 8-pound instrument at 7.6 pounds. And these tuners, I'm not going to say they're heavy, but they are, die cast. And there's 5 of them, and they're all the way out here. We have a tiny body over here. We are going to get some neck dive if we're not rocking a strap. How do I work this? Oh, here we go. Okay. Whoop. And then with a strap, this is a very well balanced instrument. I'm not getting any tug on the neck side. And let's see, standing up. This is very well balanced. The neck isn't going anywhere. I can push it, I can stay, and it stays put. Oh, and I'm so excited to play this. So now, let's play this bass. We're gonna plug it in, plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. Hi, baby. So that is our Sardine here. Now, what I had was basically everything open and the preamp centered. So it is a bit bright just as it is. Don't worry about that though, we'll take care of that. But as it is with everything centered and the piezo engaged, the tone fully open on the piezo, which is a bit bright, similar to what we had with the Portamento. And then with our 2-band preamp centered, it is a pretty bright tone, and you do get a lot of finger noise as well as some occasional slaps on the fingerboard if you're digging in. I still have fun with it though. So as I mentioned, that's like the tone all the way open. It's pretty bright. Let's just start looking at things individually a bit, and then we'll do a little mix and match. I'll try to get through it quickly because I really want to get to the stuff over here and have some fun with this. And I have been having fun with this and the effects. We have some good stuff planned. This is going to be a good one. So let's start off with our neck pickup. Just going to solo that and not have the piezo engaged. Oh, this is fun. The Nordstrand pickups definitely sound quite different than what we had with the Bartolini NK1s. Those Bartolinis, again, were a bit almost on the duller side. They didn't have a lot of character, where these are oozing with character, and you have a 2-band preamp here to tame that. What we heard was everything centered on the neck pickup. Again, no piezo engaged. Let's go ahead and play with this preamp a little bit, just with the neck. Let's go ahead and play with this preamp a little bit, just with the neck pickup. So I'm gonna cut the bass control, which is the first knob here, and we're just gonna have the treble centered. And let's just take the treble up a little bit more, see what happens. So as you can hear, we can coax a pretty bright sound out of these Nordstrand big breaks. Let's bring the treble back down to center and boost our bass to about 50%. Let's see where that takes us. Let's cut our treble now with our bass boosted and see if we can get a bit more of a warm sound. Let's boost the bass a little more. Pretty solid B string for a 34-inch scale bass. I dig it overall. I think it's pretty cool. And that's a pretty nice sound with the treble cut and the bass boosted. It doesn't lose its character, and we still maintain like that fretless like mid-range without the bass becoming overwhelming. Oh, this is a fun bass. This is fun. Look at all the range. Look at all that, and look at all the ways you can be messed up by these little dumb fret markers. Ah! Let's go ahead and center our EQ now and go over to our bridge pickup. So we are just going to be rocking our bridge pickup here. No neck pickup, no piezo, EQ centered. Really nice tone out of this big brake pickup over here at the bridge. That was with the EQ centered. Let's just cut our bass a little bit. Let's cut it all the way. Let's see what happens. And keep our treble center. And let's bring our bass back and give us a little 50% boost, keeping our treble center. And now let's take our treble down all the way. Let's see what happens. Really nice tones out of these pickups here. I think this is a worthwhile upgrade in regards to electronics over the Portamento as it is. Ergonomically, it's about the same. You do lose out on the neck through construction, but again, you can take that either way. And I am actually digging these big brakes quite a lot. We've heard other Nordstrand implementations be a bit on the brighter side when it comes to sitting in Ibanez basses, but with these Diodarios, the flat wounds. Now let's go ahead and move on to our piezo, which has a single control, and that is an active tone control. This two-band EQ, which we were using with our pickups, does not impact our piezo. So let's turn our piezo on. And as you can see, I was fiddling with the EQ knobs and nothing was happening with the signal, confirming that the EQ is completely separate from our piezo circuit. That was with the tone all the way open on the piezo. It's a bit bright. Let's take that down all the way. So with the tone all the way down, definitely chills out the treble quite a bit on the piezo. I probably wouldn't run this with the tone open in most situations because it does pick up a lot of the clickety clacking. You can raise the action and that would probably negate a bit of that. However, on fretlesses, I like to be low over here, but that's just my personal preference. So a different setup could definitely negate some of that. I can't really attest to whether or not that'll eliminate it entirely because that's not how I have mine set up, but that's how it is. So leaving the piezo just with the tone all the way open and fully engaged, let's bring back our neck pickup here. Now let's just roll off the tone on the piezo and see how that impacts the tone. Interesting. So with the tone all the way down, the piezo is very subtle. Let's turn the tone up about halfway and do the same thing. That's really interesting. Let's go ahead and turn the tone back down and turn the piezo back up. And let's switch it around, bring back our bridge pickup and the piezo. Oops. Well, you get the idea. The piezo definitely adds a bit of a brighter character, even with the tone all the way down, as well as a little bit of fullness there. Let's turn... I don't even know what I want to do anymore. Where's the pick? Okay. Yeah, I lost the pick. So I won't play this with a pick. I know, boo-hoo. Let's see if we can slap this, because I believe I mentioned in the Portamento review, the extended neck definitely gets in the way of any sort of slapping. And with the pickup sitting higher and having pull pieces here, you really can't get your fingers underneath there. So you're going to have to like slap at a weird angle, and I don't like how that puts my wrist. So I probably wouldn't recommend slapping on this or using this as a slapper. I'm just going to have both pickups engaged, the treble down a little bit, the bass centered. Let's go for a little slappity slappy. Okay, I hated that the entire time. That was terrible. So being all the way back here, the strings are a bit too tight and you really don't get a lot of that give that you need to get a good slap tone. So being able to slap up here would be nice, but you really can't. And you can't do it under the pickup either. That's really difficult. So unfortunately, this is not a slapper's bass. This is made for pure fretless joy, except a little bit of fretless frustration with these fret markers, which I'm going to cry about forever. Now let's get to the fun bits, what I've been waiting for. I'm going to go ahead and turn off our little Ampeg rocket over here in the corner, and we're going to plug into my Trickfish Bullhead 500 Mini. I have two 112 cabs behind me to give me some delicious tone with this bass, and I have an assortment of fun goodies back here that I'll briefly mention. So we are now plugged into our Trickfish. I centered the preamp here. We don't have the piezo engaged still, and I have a cute kitty right here. Hi, cat. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Now back here, I have quite a few effects set up. It's the same as last time. I've reconfigured some. I have a drum synth as well as a little keyboard synth for some fun times. And I can put together a little backup track. But before I do, let's have a little fun just with the effects. Let's start off with the big muff. Oh, kitty, this is gonna scare you. Here we go. That was fun. Next up is our MXR Polyblue Octaver. Next up is going to be our Julia chorus. I'm going to turn that on, and let's turn down our neck pickup a little. Yay, chorus! Now, let's bring on the microcosm, but then I'm going to have a little something after that. We're going to use all the effects. So I have the microcosm set to the sequence mode on Profile 2, as opposed to the mosaic mode that I've been using before. So let's see how this works out. Yeah, so the Microcosm is an awesome pedal, and I love it so much. It's good. Again, not endorsed by them. It's just fun. Now, just to add on to all the fun goodies that we've been messing with, I have put together a little basic drum beat, and I might change it around for other videos and whatever. We're just gonna have fun. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play here. So here are my final thoughts on the Ibanez Soundgear SRD905F, the Sardine. Overall, this is a very joyful and fun fretless bass. However, it is a very purpose-built fretless bass and doesn't really step outside of that. This has a huge range and is great for solo players and people who want to go well beyond that 24 fret maximum that you see on most other instruments. And it also has a variety of different tones that you can get between the three pickups that we have at our fingertips, with the neck pickup, the bridge pickup, which are both Nordstrand big breaks, as well as our piezo pickup, the Aero Silk, or whatever they want to call it. Between all three of those, as well as combining all three, you just have a ton of different tones to choose from. And in regards to EQ controls, nothing is really overwhelming. You have a lot of flexibility there without anything being too heavy-handed. And overall, I think this is a very flexible and nice instrument. If you're looking for something a bit more well-rounded in regards to being able to do other things, I know that there's plenty of other companies out there that make a cheaper fretless, as this is around $1,300 US. You can find fretlesses for, half the price of this. However, those won't have all the bells and whistles that you see here, with the chambered body, the piezo, and the bridge. and the separate piezo tone control, as well as this insane extended neck. But that neck, again, comes at a price of slap. This is not a slapper's bass, and it will never be. Absolutely, if you're looking for a fretless in that range, this has a lot of character. However, would I recommend this over the Portamento? Oh, hi, kitty. That is a different and more difficult question. The Portamento has been on the market for a while and has been available at a much lower price point for a while as well. So you can find them used well below $1,000, and you can find them brand new for about, was it $1049? So it's a $250 premium brand new. You also have a bunch of used ones available in varying conditions, depending on how well people take care of them. But for that, especially at a used price of nearly half the price of this, it would be hard to recommend the Sardine over the Portamento at a 2-to-1 ratio. But brand new, I think the $250 justifies the price bump over the Portamento. You get an improved pickup system, you get improved aesthetics, you lose out on the neck through, but you do have a nice bolt-on construction here, and you have the chambered body as well with the flamed maple top. And if you're looking for a larger fretless bass from Ibanez, they have the BTB fretless, the Steve DiGiorgio signature. It is a nice fretless bass as well. I haven't played one personally, but just knowing how BTBs play and knowing how fretlesses play, I can use my imagination. Would I recommend this as like a first fretless bass? Maybe, maybe not. I would probably recommend something a bit less expensive and more well-rounded for your first fretless. I've reviewed stuff like, the Harley Benton fretless jazz bass. I forget what the model name is, but those things come in at, what is it, like sub $200. Those are really inexpensive and a lot of fun. So if you're just looking to dip your toes into fretless, I probably wouldn't spend this much. But if you're a seasoned fretless player and looking to get the best fretless experience in regards to range, awesome tones, tons of flexibility, this bass should definitely be on your radar. But that means the Portamento should be on your radar as well, especially if you're okay with modding. But that will do it for our review of our Sardine, the Ibanez SRD905F. I liked the bass, but let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. And thank you all for watching. This is another long one. I hope you enjoyed it, and until we groove again.